everyone. Today we are going to discuss the topic male reproductive system. Okay, but before that, let us talk about the human reproductive system, or I can say the sexual reproduction in human beings. As you know that we reproduce sexually, that is two sexes are involved, one is male and second one is female, right? So in the process of sexual reproduction in case of humans, various steps are involved. First step is gametogenesis. Genesis means formation and gameto means gamete. So basically first step is there is formation of gametes. The reason you know we are diploid, like if male is there, he is having 2n number of chromosomes and female is there, then she is also having 2n number of chromosomes. So firstly there will be gametogenesis. Male will result in the formation of sperm. Right? Now this sperm or sperms, they will contain n number of chromosomes, and in the similar way the female will undergo gametogenesis and it results in the formation of ovum. Again it contains n number of chromosomes. Clear? So first step is gametogenesis, the process of formation of gametes, that is sperm in case of male and ovum in case of female. Now next step, just think, after the formation of the gametes, what could be the next step? Yes, there will be fusion of male and female gamete. But before that, the male gamete should transfer into the body of the female. They can fuse when they will come closer. And how will they come closer? By the process of insemination. So second step is insemination and third step is fusion. Okay. Second is insemination. Basically what happens in this step, these sperms, or basically I can use the word semen. What is the difference between these two we shall discuss. Basically from the body of the male, the semen is transferred into the female reproductive tract. This is insemination. The transfer of semen from the body of the male into the female reproductive tract. Clear? Now, after the transfer of the semen into the female body, what will happen? That is fusion. Now the sperms, they have entered into the female reproductive system and ovum is already present there. So now in the third step, the sperm and the ovum, they will get fused. So third step is fusion of male and female gamete. Clear? Now fourth step, you very well know, when there will be fusion of male and female gamete, then it results in the formation of a diploid zygote. Now, this zygote, it will undergo several divisions which results in the formation of blastocyst. This zygote is a single cell. Basically all of us, we have started our lives from a single cell. Now this zygote will undergo division and it results in the formation of blastocyst. Now in the next step, what will happen? This blastocyst, it will get attached to the uterine wall. As you know that in the human, for the period of 9 months, the baby is there in the body of the female, right? So basically the baby is there in the womb, that is the uterus of the female. So in the starting, this blastocyst, it will get attached to the uterine wall and later on it will develop. From the blastocyst there will be formation of embryo. From the embryo there will be formation of fetus. Okay, that we can say baby later on. So basically in the next step, the blastocyst, it will attach to uterine wall. Clear? And this process of attachment of the blastocyst to the uterine wall, This is known as implantation. Clear? Firstly, the gametes will get formed. Then the sperm from the body of the male, it will enter into the female reproductive tract by the process of sexual intercourse or copulation. Then there will be fusion of male and female gametes. Then zygote will get formed. As a result, the zygote will undergo division. It results in the formation of blastocyst. This blastocyst will get attached to the wall of the uterus with the help of placenta. Okay, this process is here, implantation. Now, after the blastocyst has been attached to the uterine wall, for the next 9 months, it will remain there for the further development. So I can use the word in the next step, there will be embryonic development. Clear? That is basically embryonic development. And this is known as gestation, or basically this is gestation period. So in human beings, 9 months is the gestation period. Clear? And after the embryonic development, what will happen? Finally, the baby will come out of the body of the female. That process is known as parturition. In simple words, we can just call it as delivery. Okay, the expelling out of the baby from the womb or from the uterus or from the body of the female. So these are the different steps that is taking place in case of human reproduction. So one by one we shall discuss all these steps. Clear? Now one thing, organisms, they are of two types, oviparous and viviparous. Oviparous means the organisms that lay eggs. Let me write it. So basically we are having two types of organisms. One type of organisms that used to lay eggs, they are known as oviparous. And second type of organisms that used to directly give birth to babies, that is viviparous. Now, human beings, they come under the category of oviparous or viviparous. Are we directly giving birth to babies or are we giving birth to eggs? And later on the eggs hatch into the new one. Yes, we are directly giving birth to babies. Human beings, they have a tendency to give birth to baby. So human beings, the female of human beings, we are viviparous. Fine. So now, our first step is gametogenesis. Let us talk about that. One by one we shall discuss all the different steps. If I talk about gametogenesis, means the process of formation of gametes. And the gametes will be formed in a special structure. Right? As you know, we are having different system. There is division of labor in our body. So basically in the male, we are having male reproductive system. And in the female, we are having female reproductive system. So before going to the different steps, let us talk about the different parts that are present in our the male reproductive system and in the female reproductive system. After that, we will discuss all the 8 steps. Now, if I talk about the male reproductive system, then male reproductive system consists of the following parts. First is testes. The males are having 2 testes, so plural is testes. But if I talk about one testis, the spelling will be like this. This is singular and that is plural. Okay. So in the male 2 testes are present. So right now I am just writing it here. Then there is accessory duct. Duct, you can understand tube-like structure that help in the transfer of something. Okay. After that, there is glands. Glands, they used to secrete something. Okay, what is their importance? We shall discuss one by one. And last, we are having external genitalia. So basically, you can easily assess what could be their function. Testes will form the male gamete. The duct, they will help in the transfer of the male gamete. The glands, they will provide lubrication, nourishment, and then finally with the help of external genitalia, the sperms, they will be released into the female reproductive tract. This is a basic thing that we can understand by this. Now let us understand by the different parts. First of all, if I talk about testes, the normal temperature of human body is 37 degrees Celsius. If the testes are placed under such temperature, then the process of formation of sperm in the testes won't be possible. Clear? So what the body has adopted, the testes, they are not placed inside the body. Rather, they are placed outside the body of the male in a special pouch-like structure, that is scrotum. So this is an important point regarding the testes, that they are not placed inside the abdominal cavity. If I talk about human female, then ovaries are placed inside the body of the female. But in case of male, the testes are not present in the abdominal cavity. Rather, testes are present inside the scrotum. Clear? And why is it so? So that the temperature could be 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius less than the body temperature, and that temperature is actually required for the formation and healthy growth of the sperms. So suppose if this is the penis, and let me talk about this is the abdominal area. So testes are not here in the abdominal area. Rather, they are present in a pouch-like structure that is present outside the body. Okay. Here two pouches are there. As you know, two testes are present. In each pouch, we are the human males, they are having one testis. Here one testis and here second testis. Is that fine? This pouch is scrotum, and in that testes are present. And why? Because inside temperature is higher, and here as it is outside the body, so here the temperature is 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lesser. That is actually required for the growth of the sperm. Fine. Now next point. Testes, they are very important actually. They are the primary sex organ. Why? Because obviously they are responsible for the formation of the gamete. Clear? Basically, the testis is helping the male in two ways. First is in the formation of sperm, that is the male gamete. Second, testes also help in the formation of androgen. Basically, I can use testosterone. Testosterone is an example of androgen. Testosterone is male hormone. Basically, all the characters that you have seen in case of male, masculine body, mustache, beard, the harsh voice, okay, all are due to this testosterone hormone. So basically testes, these are the primary sex organ and they are located inside the scrotum. Fine. Now, if I talk about the inside structure of the testis, now let me make it like this. Suppose here I am having the scrotum. Okay. And inside this scrotum, as you know, testes are present. So here suppose testis is there. This is for singular. Okay, now if you will see inside the testis, then various lobules are present. Okay, inside the testis, various lobules are present. Almost 250 to 280 lobules are present like this. Suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, these are microscopic. Okay, so almost 250 to 280 lobules are present, which are known as testicular lobules. Okay, so inside the testis, 250 to 280 testicular lobules are present. Now if I talk about each lobule, then inside each lobule, let me draw it here. Suppose here is one lobule. In the lobule, you can see 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubule. Okay, inside each lobule, we are having 1, 2, 3 like this. Highly coiled seminiferous tubules. Clear? So inside the testis, testicular lobules are present. Inside the testicular lobules, seminiferous tubules are present. Inside the testis, we are having 250 to 280 testicular lobules. And inside each lobule, we are having 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubule. Clear? Now let us talk about the cross section of seminiferous tubule. Cross section, basically you can understand like that. Seminiferous tubule, obviously it is highly coiled tube-like structure, right? Suppose here is testis. In that I am having lobule. In that I am having seminiferous tubule. If I cut it like this, suppose here is a tube, I'll cut it like this and I'll see it from the top. Okay, that section we are going to see. So let us talk about the cross section of the seminiferous tubule. If you will see, we can observe this type of structure. From the top, it will be appear circular. Okay. Now, if I see inside, then inside. Now suppose here is one seminiferous tubule, second, third. These are circular from top. Otherwise, the tube is there. We have taken a portion of this. Okay. So suppose this is one seminiferous tubule, second, third, and this is a testicular lobule. Now, seminiferous tubule. Now, inside the seminiferous tubule, two types of cells are present. One is actually in seminiferous tubules, there will be formation of sperm. So one cell will be there that will be responsible for the formation of sperm, and second cell will be there that will provide nourishment to the sperm. It's a basic thing. Two type of cells are present. One type of cell will form the sperm. Second type of cell will provide nourishment to the sperm. Okay. So basically, this cell that forms sperm, they are male germ cell, or I can use the word spermatogonia. So suppose here I am having spermatogonia. Like this, so many spermatogonia are there. As you know that in human male, millions of sperms are produced, and even they used to produce these sperms throughout their life. But this is not happening in case of human female. Female can produce the egg only till a certain age, 40-50 years maximum. But human males, they can produce sperms throughout their life. So basically here we are having the spermatogonia, or I can use the term male germ cell. In the spermatogonia, there will be meiotic division. Obviously, these spermatogonia, they are having diploid set of chromosomes. They will undergo, firstly they will undergo maturation and then meiotic or reductional division, and they result in the formation of sperm. Let me draw it like this. Otherwise, structure of sperm we have to discuss in detail. Is it fine? Now, second type of cell that are present in the seminiferous tubule is nurse cell, or I can say Sertoli cells. So here we are having nurse cells, NURSE. So basically inside the seminiferous tubule, two types of cells are present. Nurses that will provide nourishment to the spermatogonia. Basically not to the spermatogonia. The spermatogonia will undergo reduction division, they will form sperm, and the nurses, they are going to provide the nutrition to these structures. Clear? I am repeating once again. Inside the testis, we are having testicular lobules. Inside the testicular lobules, we are having seminiferous tubules. Inside the seminiferous tubule, two type of cells are present. One type of cell, they are going to make the sperm, and second type of cell, that is Sertoli cell, they are going to provide nourishment to the sperm. Clear? Now, in between the spaces, suppose here I am having one seminiferous tubule, second, third. So in between the spaces, that is interstitial space. Inter means the one which is present in between. So interstitial space, the space which is present in between the cells, in between the seminiferous cells, seminiferous tubules. So this is interstitial space. In the interstitial space, one type of cell is present, and on the basis of their location, they have been given the name interstitial cells. So these are interstitial cells, or their other name is Leydig's cell. Clear? Now I told you two functions of testes. Firstly, the testes will form the male gamete. Second, testes secrete testosterone. Now, the male gamete is produced by the spermatogonia that are present inside the seminiferous tubule. That I told you now. The testosterone is formed by the Leydig cells. These Leydig cells, or the interstitial cells that are present in between, they are responsible for the synthesis of androgen, or basically I can say testosterone. So this is about testes. Okay? Now, here is this testis, suppose, present in the scrotum. Clear? Inside we are having seminiferous tubules and everything that we have discussed. So now suppose the testes, they have made the sperm. Now finally the sperm, they have to travel and they have to move to the female reproductive tract. Now here comes the second part, that is accessory duct. Testes we have done. Okay, now accessory duct includes four ducts: retitestis, vas efferentia, epididymis, and last one is vas differentia. You have to learn them in a sequential way. Firstly, there will come retitestis. Suppose here I am having the testis, and suppose sperms are produced. Okay. So several tubes will arise. They will be retitestis. Now these retitestis, it will open into the vas efferentia. The vas efferentia, it will open into the epididymis, and then finally the epididymis will open into the vas differentia, and they will take the sperm. They will help in the transfer of the sperm. Clear? The testes, from the testes the sperm will enter into the retitestis, and after that they will enter into the vas differentia. After that they will enter into the epididymis. Okay, this is suppose epididymis, and then they will lead into the vas differentia. Now, if I talk about the third thing that we have discussed, glands. So three types of glands are present. First is seminal vesicle. Two seminal vesicles are present. Second is prostate gland. Prostate gland is single. Okay, only one prostate gland is present. And third one is Cowper's gland. Or you can use the term bulbourethral gland. Again, it is 2 in number. So now what will happen? The vas differentia, it is taking the sperms. The testes are made the sperm. In the seminiferous tubule, the sperms, they are there. Now from there they will enter into the retitestis, vas efferentia, then epididymis, then vas differentia, and after that what will happen? The seminal vesicle is there. From the seminal vesicle, a tube will arise, and that tube will merge with the vas differentia like this. Means they will open together. Now they are opening together. The vas differentia, now it will get merged with the seminal vesicle tube and it results in the formation of a duct, and that duct is known as ejaculatory duct. Okay, so basically what happens from here, this sperm will come in the ejaculatory duct, and from here the seminal vesicle, it used to secrete substances that are having fructose, calcium, enzymes. These are used to provide nourishment to the sperm. Plus the secretions of the prostate gland, Copper's gland, they will also come here. Okay, they will provide nourishment to the sperm. They are rich in fructose, calcium, enzymes. So now, in the ejaculatory duct, the sperms are there and they are having everything that is required for their nutrition, as they have to move. Sperms, they used to move, they are motile, they have to move and they have to reach the female reproductive tract. Now in the human male, there is a single passage for the urination as well as for the ejaculation of the sperm. Means from a single duct, the sperms will be ejaculated out plus the urination will take place. Clear? So now, as I told you, in the ejaculatory duct, the sperms will come. Now this ejaculatory duct must merge with their, you can say, with their urinary bladder, as the urinary bladder will lead into the urethra and finally that tract is for the urination purpose. Clear? So now what will happen? This ejaculatory duct, it will get wound over the urinary bladder. Clear? Suppose if I am drawing here, it will get wound over here. Now a single tube will arise that is having both the urine as well as the sperm. Earlier ejaculatory duct was there. This ejaculatory duct, it wounded over the urinary bladder. As a result, a single duct came in the urethra, and you know that here the penis is there. The male external genitalia, that is the fourth part. The male external genitalia is penis. So basically what will happen in case of penis, this single duct will get open. Okay, if this is the penis and here that we have done, let me make it a bit clear. If this is the penis, okay. One scrotum, second scrotum, okay. In this scrotum, testis is there. Testis is there. From the testis, retro-testis arise. Okay, they merge to form the vas efferentia. Then vas efferentia, it will move like this. Okay. Here, epididymis will get formed. Then it is known as vas differentia. Sperm will keep on traveling like this. Okay. Now in the midway, seminal vesicle is there. The tube of the seminal vesicle and this vas differentia, it will get merged and there will be formation of a single tube, that is ejaculatory duct. This ejaculatory duct will round over the urinary bladder, and from the urinary bladder, you know, urethra will come. So basically this duct, ejaculatory duct and the urethra, they are merged now. There is a single duct that is now carrying the sperm as well as the urine. The sperms, they are coming from the testes like this, and urine is coming from the urinary bladder, urethra, this passage you have done in the excretory system. So basically now in the males there is a single tube that is running through their penis. If this is the penis, then outer they are having a fold of skin. Okay, there is a fold of skin, and in the starting it is a little bit bulged like this. You can just see. This is a little bit bulged. Clear? And the opening here. The opening is there. Through this opening, the urine will get passed as well as there will be ejaculation of the sperm. So this opening is known as urethral meatus. This is the opening that is responsible for the ejaculation of the urine as well as the sperm. This is urethral meatus. Okay, this folding of the skin. Here you can see it is slightly broad from the end here. This is known as glans penis. So this is the male reproductive system. Testes, they are having the seminiferous tubule. In the seminiferous tubule, in the spermatogonia, by the reduction division, there will be formation of sperm. The sperm will travel through the retitestis, vas efferentia, epididymis, vas differentia, and they will merge with the duct of the seminal vesicle, and then it results in the formation of a duct known as the ejaculatory duct. This ejaculatory duct will round over the urinary bladder. So basically result in the formation of a single duct that is having both the sperm as well as the urine. This duct, it will open in the penis, and the opening of the penis is the